West Virginia beats number 22 Iowa State, and the Steelers beat the Browns. Let's go, everybody. Harry, kick that intro.
Let's go.
Here we go.
The Steelers will never be last in the league in running again.
It's a good time to get hot.
Holy crap, guys. That's pretty cool.
And a Rabu.
Najee Harris, running back, first round. I think the Steelers will target him. Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, November 1st. October is over and it's November. And yes, we had a good weekend. If you're new here or if you're returning, welcome back. This is H&J Talk Sports, your favorite podcast for West Virginia, Steelers, Penguins, and whatever we want to talk about. I'm Joe. That's Harry. Harry, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? It's been far and few between to have weekends like this where both teams win.
It's been a weekend. That's true. I think it's 2 weeks in a row now. We're having some good weekends here.
Well, last week the Steelers were on a bye.
Huh?
They were on a bye last week.
Who was?
We count that? Pittsburgh.
I count that.
You count that? Okay.
Bye is a win. It's not a loss. We'll count that.
Okay.
Don't bring me down, Harry. Anyways, guy right here. West Virginia beat Iowa State. Stick around. We're going to talk about the Steelers later. Oh, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. If you watch us every week, you should share it. Tell everyone you know this is the best West Virginia Pittsburgh podcast out there because it's the truth. And I'll put my money on that any day of the week. It's always good when you get Harry's agreement on that. Anyways, Harry, this is a big win. You wanted this or Oklahoma State or both. You said you didn't want to see Kansas State, Kansas. Hey, we beat 22 Iowa State, 38-31.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted Iowa State and Oklahoma State. I'll take it. I mean, it is good. It is. I feel better with this win than I did last week about that individual win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team that's had our number for a while.
Yeah, 4 years in a row they beat us.
And they were ranked. I mean, they were 22nd in the country, so it's not like they were having a terrible season.
Yeah.
They weren't having as good of a season as a lot of people were expecting, but I'd say it's still pretty good. They had only one Big 12 loss, so they were still in the running for the Big 12 championship, which I think took a big hit now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is important because this is 2 games in a row now that Daggy has been really solid. I said last week time West Virginia won, it was the best game of the season. It was a complete effort, 4 quarters. I felt this was just as good, and Daggy was just as good as he was in the last game. He was really solid in this game. A few mistakes. We can't, it's still Jared Daggy. But 2 weeks in a row, he's been fantastic. And 2 weeks in a row, I think this is interesting. I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, but I've heard that Neil Brown has pretty much turned over almost all the offensive play calling to Gerard Parker as offensive coordinator the past 2 weeks. So could that be a big difference in this?
It could be. I mean, the team has definitely looked different since the bye.
It has. I mean, they prepared a lot during that bye week. And if he turned over the offensive play calling, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's 100%. It's obviously made a difference because this team it looks different. Everything's different on offense. Yeah. Obviously, they put up 31 points on us. Defense struggled early, but they came up when it mattered. The big plays that they needed to come up, they made the stops. Some big turnovers late in that game. The best part of that game, Bryce Ford Wheaton, that touchdown catch. Holy shit. That may be the best catch, West Virginia catch in my memory. I can't think of one that was that good.
Yeah, it was a good one. I mean, it shows that he's got the talent.
He's a lot of talent. He had, I think, 100 receiving yards in that game, over 100.
Yep. 106, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He had a couple big catches. I think he had another one that was like 40, but that one was huge. I mean, 2, great throw by Daggy. But man, to get the feet down and to not lose that ball, that was huge. Huge. And then obviously the fumble at the end, the defense recovered a touchback to end that game. Letty, another game over 100 yards. He had a really good game. I think a big thing that changed, Terry, we talked about this a lot at the beginning of the season. The offensive line was really bad. Even that LIU game, which we won like 66-0. I said on that podcast after that game, we beat them 66-0. This is like a high school team. The offensive line still looked horrible. They've looked really good the past 3 weeks or so. Daggy had a lot of time in this game, which helps.
Well, I mean, they complement each other. So if the passing game is doing good, it's going to open up things for the run game and vice versa. So right now you're seeing what happens when the two are working cohesively. Mm-hmm. So it's good. It's nice to see. Wish we would have seen it from the beginning, but
yeah. And now, once we start winning, hopefully we keep winning. Huge game this week. We'll get into that. We're going to look back at these games like Oklahoma and Maryland. And what was the other close one? Was it Texas Tech? Texas Tech. And we're going to shake our heads and say, why couldn't we have done it then? And then it's a completely different season.
Well, I mean, like I said, I said one of two things would make me happy would be either going 4-2 in the final half of the season or 3-3 with going at least 2-1 between Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Texas.
Yep.
So they're off to a good start. They're 2-0. They beat Iowa State. Mm-hmm. Now a bowl is looking like you got a decent possibility. You got Kansas on there, which you should be a favorite, and then you got to get a win against one of the other three, which is possible.
Plus for Neil Brown too, a lot of people talked about Virginia Tech being his statement, his first real, I don't want to say real, his key win as the coach of West Virginia. It was a huge game. Virginia Tech was ranked when they beat them. Virginia Tech was considered very good earlier in the season. They've kind of tapered off since that loss. But now you beat Iowa State, who was ranked 22 and had beat us 4 years in a row. I feel like that's a bigger win than Virginia Tech. I mean, that's a Big 12 rival that's had our number. So,
yeah, those are both good wins. But he had great wins, and then we have the loss to Maryland and the loss to Texas Tech. So in the end, it's a good wash. Week. This is a good for week. Me. That's how I feel. Like,
yeah, no, I mean it's true, and I think the more the season goes on. We win if we win next week or we beat Kansas State and Texas, I feel like the more we win in these last few games, the more I'm going to look back and say why. I'm just happy, but the more we keep winning. One thing I want to do though is say one negative part from the game. I know a lot of people were calling for more Garrett Green. I feel like the way that Neil Brown or Gerard Parker, who's ever in charge of this right now, are doing a terrible job at handling the 2 QB system. I feel like it should be used creatively. And what it feels like is they're just like, well, we got to get Green some reps. Let's plug him in this play and see what happens. I don't think Daggy, I think it was the third drive of the game. So Daggy had 2 really good drives. West Virginia has all the momentum. And then you randomly put in Garrett Green on a third drive, 3 and out. And then Iowa State comes back and scores. So it just feels like random plugging at this point. I feel like you got to do it more creatively and when it makes sense. Don't just get him in there to get the reps or to say, oh, yeah, we got 2 QB system. You got to make it mean something. You can't plug him in when Daggy's doing good and kill the momentum. And then, they do this. They put him in. He misses the first 2 plays, and then you put Daggy on third down. It doesn't work. You can't do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely messes with the rhythm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a lot of people are seeing that Garrett Green, he's not the guy.
I'm telling you got some I don't want to mention any names because you know me, I don't like to start shit, Harry. There's some other West Virginia podcasts out there that love, oh my gosh, all they talk about is Garrett Green. You think this was Arch Manning we had on the sidelines. He's not that guy. I mean, we've said earlier in the season we want to see him more, especially when they were losing. But it's got to be for a reason. You can't just put him in randomly to get the reps, especially when Degi's doing good. Now, if Degi's struggling, that's when you maybe put him in to mix things up in a game, right? But Degi, he was eating up the defense. I mean, he was pretty much throwing whatever he wanted that game. So I don't see any reason to put Garrett Green in at that point. That's just me.
Hey man, win's a win. At least they're doing better.
Well, if it doesn't get any bigger, next week at home, Saturday, 3:30, another stupid 3:30 game. Jesus Christ. 3:30. Oklahoma State comes in ranked number 11. What do you think of Oklahoma State?
They're pretty good. I mean, they look like, to me, they look like second or third best team in the Big 12 right now. I kind of give the edge to Baylor. I know they beat Baylor, but
they also lost to Iowa State.
Yeah, Baylor's been getting better.
Yeah.
They looked a little rocky this week, but they're tough. It's another team that's had our number for a while. It's at home. They're in the running. You know, they're trying to get into that Big 12 game.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to derail some of that stuff because they've done it to us.
I think this is the game you wanted most, right?
Yeah, this is a game. I mean, other than
we were talking about which game you would prefer. I think it was Oklahoma State that you said you really wanted to win.
I want that. After Oklahoma State would be a big game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they're overrated. I mean, looking at the teams they beat, Baylor is a big one. I don't see them as the 11th best team in the country. I mean, they beat Boise State. They beat Kansas State. They beat Texas, who's not very good this year. So Baylor's a big win. They stomped Kansas last week, but it's Kansas. So I don't know. I don't know if I can look at this and I don't know. Let me backtrack. West Virginia can lose any game on the schedule, including Kansas. So I'm not saying I'm not worried, but I don't feel like they're any better than Iowa State. Personally. 11, that feels very generous. I don't know.
Well, they've won. I mean, they have one loss.
Yeah. Against teams, I don't know. They beat Baylor. They're good. It's going to be a tough game. So I think you got to do exactly what you've done the past 2 weeks. Degi's got to not make mistakes, minimize them. Letty's got to run his ass off. We need big plays from the defense. If you play like you played this week, you can win that game. So I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to say we're going to keep on this high, and we're going to beat Oklahoma State and really make some noise.
It's a winnable game. And
at home.
I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing because it's been working and pick against us. So
that's the key. You've been picking against.
I thought we would get beat pretty good against TCU. I thought we'd get beat pretty good against Iowa State. So why not make it 3 for 3? And I'm going to go Oklahoma State. I think it'll be close though.
Yeah.
I could see something like 34, 31, something like that.
It could be it could come down to that.
Maybe more.
That seems really high scoring to me. I feel like this is more like maybe a 24-17 type of game.
It's a winnable game.
It's a win.
It's at home.
I'm calling win here. Harry says loss. Everyone write that down. But Harry's picking loss for us, guys. So let's give him some credit for that. He's doing it for the team.
Doing it for the team.
Yep. We appreciate you, man. We really do. All right. Well, that's Oklahoma State. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. What are you feeling for this game? What do you think West Virginia needs to do to get the win here and keep it up? Man, if we beat Oklahoma State, how good do things feel?
If we beat them, how good does things feel?
Be 2 ranked teams in a row, number 11.
I would feel good.
I feel like when we beat Virginia Tech, they were ranked 11 or 12.
They were ranked 15, I think.
Around there. I thought they were higher than that, but it might be 15.
No, it'd be nice. It'd be a good win.
Speaking of good wins, the Steelers beat the Browns. Thank God. I can't deal with that fan base right now. Apologies to any. I know we have a few West Virginia fans that are Browns fans. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the other ones. For you guys, tough loss, man. Tough loss. We'll see you next time. Fair game. But to the other ones, to the other Browns fans that don't watch our show and aren't West Virginia fans, I can't stand you guys, and I'm glad we beat you. What a freaking game that was. I think Mike Tomlin summed it up best after the game when he said that's an AFC North football game right there. That was a dog fight. 15-10. What the hell kind of score is that?
The defense took control. That's what we need.
They did, and they looked weak early. Like that first quarter, I was like, we're going to get blown up. It's going to be 34-7. But they shut it down. They got better as the game went on. Early, when they made some mistakes, they kept it to 3 points. They didn't let the Browns score. Or that first or second drive, the Browns, I thought it was touchdown. I thought they were going to run away with it, but they held them to 3. The factor, what changed this entire game, Pittsburgh goes down the field. For some reason, Mike Tomlin decides to do a fake field goal. It didn't make any sense at this point. It's early in the game. You take the points, and you're up. But for some reason, we do a fake field goal, and it wasn't even a good fake. Boswell faded back for a pass for some reason. Everyone was covered, and he got blown up. It was a bad hit. It should have been a penalty. It wasn't called. And he got concussed and knocked out of the game. So for the rest of the game, the Steelers didn't have a kicker. So they had to do 2-point conversions when they scored. They never kicked the ball. They went for it almost in every fourth down when they were in territory, which almost cost them the game because it was 15-10. But, you know, if they would have had him in the game, if they would have took the 3, they should have been up by like 2 scores at one point. And instead, you know, the Browns have the ball. It's 10-15. They're going down the field. And it looked like they were going to score. And I think that's when we had a big turnover, which saved the game.
They must really not have any confidence in Harvin to kick field goals.
I don't think so. I think they said
they didn't give him any chance, even when it wasn't.
Well, I think the problem was he'd never done it. I guess Ben is the backup holder, and they didn't want him to accidentally kick Ben's fingers and mess him up for the game. That was the reasoning they said. I don't know if that's true or what it was, but they didn't even give the guy a shot at it.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the kicker position. To me, if you kick a ball, you kick a ball. I guess it's minute. Maybe someone, I don't know. Maybe we can get Pat McAfee on this show to explain it to us better. Pat, if you want to come on.
It's an accuracy thing.
I guess. One's more kicking, but you think, Harving, if you can kick it 60 yards down the field, you think you can kick it 20 straight, right?
Well, I've noticed that place kickers and punters are usually built a little different.
Yeah.
Usually punters are they're long, taller, thinner, kind of more wiry. And kickers, like place kickers, have really big legs. So
yeah,
there's something about that. I think, yeah.
I'm not saying you put him in to try a 40-yard attempt, but you think he could do an extra point and kick it through the, 20 yards, 25, whatever it is now. I don't know.
I'm sure at some point they've seen him kick a field goal.
And didn't like it.
Messing around or something. And
well, even when he did the kickoff after they scored, he struggled with that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's different. I don't know. Some kicker come on and explain it to me. If we can't get Pat, maybe we can get Casey Legg on here to tell us. Casey, if you watch the show, come on and tell us the difference. I don't know. So yeah, it was a dogfight, man. So after that Boswell thing, it really changed the whole game because after that, there was no kicking for the Steelers. They had to score. 2-point conversions didn't work. They made one and got called back as a penalty, and then that just didn't go well. But they won the game. Defense came up big. Najee ran his ass off. I looked at the stats. He didn't get over 100 yards, which surprised me because I feel like he ran all game and he had some big runs.
Did well. He's making plays.
He did really good. He's getting better every week. The line's getting better every week, which is helping him. Deontay was quiet most of the game, but he had a huge catch on that last drive in the game. Chase, he had a quiet. I mean, most of the wide receivers had a pretty quiet game. It was pretty much the Najee show. Everyone had some little plays. Pat Frymuth had a big game. He had some really big plays.
Yeah, some big plays.
Defense played really well. They held Baker to a touchdown and a field goal, and they got it done. I think a big story with this too, kind of like we just talked about with West Virginia, the line has gotten better every week, and it's noticeably helping Najee. It's helping Ben. I mean, the first 2 weeks of the season, Ben was on his ass every other play. I don't think he's been – well, he got sacked today, but it's not as violent, and he hasn't been getting hit and rushed every play, which has helped.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the line has gotten a lot better throughout. I mean, it's good, but they're starting to play a million times better than they did in the start of the season. So
yeah, it's huge. It's changed everything. I think that's been a big difference the past few weeks.
Yeah, it makes all the difference.
Zach Banner, I believe, was a healthy scratch today. So they got the line they like, and they're staying with him, it seems like.
Maybe this team is slowly putting – I mean, the offense is still – it's kind of like the Bills game where it's a good win, and maybe we get a little overconfident because we beat because it's a nice win, but the offense still doesn't look that great.
Well, here's what I learned. I think I finally have a peg on the Steelers after this week's game. Moving forward, this is the Steelers. This is as good as they're going to get, guys. I think Ben, this is him at this point. He does what he can do. The line's improving. Najee's a beast. Frymuth's a beast. The wide receivers, I don't think they're as good as we all thought, but they get it done. Every win is going to have to be a dogfight. There's not going to be any blowouts with this team. And I don't care who it is on the schedule. If they go into the playoffs, every game is going to be a fight. It's going to be defense. It's going to be 7-point win, 3-point win. You're going to fight for every yard. And that's what we saw today. That's who the Steelers are, I think.
The team can do it. I mean, that's in the playoffs. You want a defensive team that can run the ball. That's what you want. I think that's every week we've been like, well, are they good? Are they bad? Are they this? I think today this is what the Steelers are. They're not the team that used to, throw deep to Antonio Brown and run up 38 points on teams. They're not the Bills. They're not going to blow teams out. Every game they win. I think that Detroit game, when they play the Ravens, if they make it to the playoffs, it's going to be like this game. They're going to be fighting for every single point. And that's what we're going to get the rest of the season. And you know what? Maybe they can win like that. Who knows? It's not bad. It's not.
I mean, in the playoffs, what wins? Defense and running the ball. So,
yeah.
If you can get there somewhat healthy and the line keeps getting better, who knows what can happen. But this is not going to be a team that's going to throw for you over, 60 yards, 80-yard passes. It's not.
I agree.
But we won. We beat the Browns before the season. I'm not going to put the clip up yet. I'm going to wait till the next time we play the Browns. I called the Browns will not beat us this season. 1 for 2, baby. We got one more left. 1 for 2. Big brother's back.
Browns it was big, very big in the division.
Huge win. We talked about it last week. If you haven't watched that podcast, go watch it. I think this was the biggest win of the season. You made huge ground. You're a win back now from striking distance to the top of the AFC North. You got Detroit. You got Chicago coming up. This was a big win. And the Browns, I think they got the Bengals next week, right?
Yep. Nobody looks untouchable. And just staying in, waiting for the end of the season. So
We're right there. It's going to come down to the last week of the season, but we're right there.
It'd be nice to still be in it.
Yeah. Next week, we got the Bears, but they play the Bears on Monday night. So we'll talk about that on Monday's show.
Yeah.
They won't play before our next podcast. So tune in next Monday to see our coverage on the Bears game. We'll do the preview, talk about what we think for that night. Monday Night Football against the Bears. Boys, Steelers, and Bears Monday night. Seems like a boring Monday night game, honestly. But who knew?
Not for us. Not if you're a fan of one of the teams.
Not if you're a fan for the Bears or the Steelers. It's great. But if you're like an outside football or a fan of another team, that seems like one of those boring Monday night games. I guess it's a chance for Najee to shine on Monday Night Football. Hopefully. Hey, Harry, guess what?
What?
Did you know Sidney Crosby's back?
I did know that.
Sidney Crosby's back, guys. And it couldn't have come at a better time because the Penguins, who started off solid, as good as they can start without Crosby, Malkin, and then Letang and Jeff Carter going down, they've dropped their last 3 games, and they have not looked good at all. So, Crosby back. Well, before that, Pittsburgh beat Toronto 7-1. That was a huge game. And since then, they've dropped 3, and they haven't dropped 3 well. They lost to Tampa Bay 5-1. They lost to Calgary 4-0. And then they lost last night to the Devils 4-2.
Yeah.
So in their last 3 games, they've put up 3 goals, and they've allowed 13. That's not a recipe for success.
No. What started off as a good season, now you gain a player, but something's off again.
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, it's rough. Crosby is 1 game back. He's older. He's traditionally a slow starter. It might take him a while to get going. Jeff Carter came back too, which helped. But Hayes didn't look too good the other night against the Devils. Hopefully they pick it back up here. They're still missing Letang, which hurts. I'm kind of worried about Letang because he's got COVID. He's symptomatic. And they've been kind of quiet about that, which worries me. I know a couple of years ago he had a heart condition. I think he had like a stroke or something. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about Letang here. You think at this point we would have got an update saying, yeah, he's doing good. Maybe another. They've been very quiet about that whole situation. So I don't know. That's something to keep an eye on. But they're missing him now. They got still missing Russ. I think he's still week to week. So they're going to have to pull it together. But they play the Flyers on Thursday, which is nice because I felt like this is kind of a weird start to the season. They've played Calgary, Tampa a bunch, Florida. I feel like it's good to get some division games going here. So we get to see the Flyers Thursday at 7:00 at home. Penguins need a win. They need a big game from Crosby, I feel like. Hopefully we get some updates on Letang. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Man, I was supposed to do a hockey talk Friday, Harry, but I've been so busy. So sorry to you guys.
Well, it's all right. It's a long season.
It is. I've been swamped. Maybe this Friday, if I can sneak one in, we'll do hockey talk and break down some of this stuff more. Hopefully we'll have some good shit to talk about with this Flyers game. We shall see.
We shall see.
If I'm not busy playing Vanguard or something like that, you know. Comment Vanguard in the comments if you're ready for that. Harry's ready for bed, guys. Harry, did you watch that UFC fight?
I did. It was a great card.
I kind of did. I was watching that. That unfortunately, of all the odds, of all the 2:00 UFC fights, it had to be on with the West Virginia game. I had them both up, but it was hard to focus on the fight because that was a good football game. But Team Khabib basically stole the show. That first fight, what you think of that one?
Yeah, no real surprises.
Nope.
Maybe the championship fight, Glover won.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Other than that, everybody you expected the win-win. The Jan and Sandhagen fight was really good, but Yeah.
Say that guy's name.
Who?
Chimiev. How do you say his freaking name? So beat
Hamzat
Lee.
Chimaev?
Huh?
Chimaev?
Is that how you say it? You're making that up.
Chimaev? Something like that.
No, I think you're wrong too. Someone tell us. We got any Russians fans? Tell us how to say his name. Anyways, he's really good. He beat Lee. Boy, he should be getting a top fight soon, you'd think. I mean, that was
top 5.
Him and Islam. If these guys get you on the ground, you're done.
Yeah, he's
Your
tough.
only hope with these guys is to hopefully knock them out, because if they get you down, there's nothing you can do.
You look really good.
Yeah. He should be seen soon. Islam dominated, same thing. Didn't even make it past round 1. We knew those fights were going to go that way, I feel like.
Yeah.
Did anyone think Dan Hooker was going to come in and do something to Islam at this point in his career? I don't think so. Yan is a beast. That was a good fight, though. I'm surprised it went to distance, actually.
It was a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Very exciting fight.
I didn't think it'd go the distance. I thought Yan would knock him out early, but it was good. And then the surprising fight, Yan number 2 lost the title.
Yeah.
I thought he would hold it for a while.
I don't know. I'm not too surprised about that, but it was a good fight.
Now we
got on him, did what he did, got on top of him, beat him pretty dominantly. So
when a guy gets on top of you and dominates, there's not much you can do.
Nope. Not much you can do.
That's what she said. Come on. I handed that to you. Harry.
No.
No. Fine, let's keep it PC for the children. Anyways, the next fight is really big. I'm excited for that one. UFC 268, and it's coming up soon. Wait, is it next weekend?
Yep. Back to back.
They got these fights 2 weekends in a row?
Yep.
Holy Christ. Oh my God. We gotta talk about this card real quick. Jeez. So you got what's the first fight on that one? Frankie Edgar and Vera. That's a good fight to start off the fight.
The whole card's good. Except the only fight that probably is not good, I think, is the second fight.
Yeah, Burgos and I don't know.
That's because Luke Rockhold got injured, pulled out. But other than that,
yeah, Edgar Vera is a good start. Who you got there?
Yeah, that will be a good fight.
Think Vera takes that one?
I think so, but I think it has potential to be a really back and forth.
This might be the best, the best card I've seen maybe since last December.
Yeah.
These last 3 fights are ridiculous. So you got the Gaethje Chandler rematch. Then you got Thug Rose, Whaley rematch. And then you got Usman and Covington rematch. Are you kidding me right now?
It's good ones. Full of good ones.
So who takes Gaethje and Chandler?
I'm going to go Gaethje.
I think Chandler takes it.
It could go either way.
The last fight was so close.
Yeah.
And then Rose and Whaley. I think Rose takes it. I thought Whaley was really good for a while, and I think she is. I didn't think she'd lose the belt, but I think Rose is going to prove with this fight that she's better. I don't like Whaley. She's kind of too cocky for me.
I'll go Whaley. We didn't really get to see much. She got caught in the last fight, so.
She's good. I mean, let's not forget she dominated that division for a long time. But I think Rose takes it again. Back-to-back, Rose wins. And then the final fight, God, I hope Usman just shuts Colby up. I hope he punches his teeth in and he swallows them all.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I don't expect it to be as close as the last one.
No, I think Usman's going to, yeah.
He's gotten better every time. So I'm going to say Usman.
Let's go Usman.
He'll finish him.
Make him swallow all his teeth so he can't say nothing about it.
Yep.
I like it. Hey, if you like it when we talk about UFC, let us know in the comments. I like it. And tune in next time, when we go over this fight. and talk about how good it was. Because I'm excited for this one. Dang, if we were going to go to Vegas for, oh no, that's at Madison Square Garden. Jeez. You know what? I don't like the refs at Madison Square Garden. That's one thing I'm going to have to point out. Or the judges. I feel like and I think Dane has commented on that before too. I feel like whatever officials they use out there, they stop fights a lot more than they do in Vegas. Even though it's the same official. I don't know.
It's the doctors, the ringside doctors.
The doctors, yeah. I think it's the doctors that are different because it's the same officials. But I feel like, and I think he's commented on that whenever it's in Madison Square Garden, they tend to stop fights a lot sooner than they do in Vegas. So that could be something to look out for.
They do.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. This is H&J Talk Sports, your new favorite podcast. Hey, go subscribe on social media. I need a new one of these thingies. That's not good. That's not a good one.
It's ripping apart.
Oh, geez, it's so old. Follow us on social media, H&J Talk Sports. Come follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Go on Twitter. Talk to me through all the games. It's so much fun talking to you guys, especially during these West Virginia games. It's been crazy lately. So come chat there. If you haven't subscribed, hey, guys, what are you waiting on? Freaking subscribe. Go tell all your friends to subscribe because this is where it's at. This is the new Best West Virginia podcast. Anywhere you can listen to your podcast, whether you watch us on YouTube or you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, this is it. Also, we talk Steelers and Penguins, so how could you beat that in UFC? Right, Harry?
Correct.
Tell them, who's the best?
Joe and Harry. They're the best.
Joe and Harry are the best. Let's go, guys. We'll see you next Monday.
See you next week.
Same time, same place.